And sometimes when you have also another act coming through into like the label, also like focus changes and whatnot, but that's not like a bad thing. That's what happens in labels. You have to focus your energy on one thing at a time.
Coming up after the break.
People always try to snatch certain credit from me.
For a year, I wanted to leave.
It started with the music switched up.
The artistic identity were told to disassociate from me.
When I was working on my first album, and I was so serious. I'd be in the studio weeks on end, just trying to finish that project. In a lot of situations, especially with me, I've realized that people always try to snatch certain credit from me. Yeah, you did that song, but, and for me, my thing was, why is there always a but? I'm the one in the studio recording these songs as well. Cheesy, lunatic, and I was like locked in.
Me personally, I fought for personal and creative control at all times.
You can help me try and finish the song, but don't control the session. Don't let the session go to where you want it to be, because me and the producer already have a plan.
I only wanted to be in studio where there's not a lot of us. And it's not cool, obviously, having someone that you don't really know their background that well, you haven't met them, and they have opinions on what you should change, what you should do.
You also want to release music that you like, music that you believe in. Before the fans, before everybody outside, you have to trust whatever product you were selling. So sometimes it felt like we are not doing us, we are told to do 1, 2, 3, that we didn't actually agree on, you know what I mean? And if you don't do that and you want to do your own thing, that means the marketing side of things is not going to happen, because you believe in this, but they don't, so they're not going to push something they don't believe in.
Like 2 months before I gave him the album. And anyway, I just worked on the album. When the album was done, he was a little pissed off at me because, with most artists, he's involved in the creative process of the album, how the album is going to sound, everything. With Emtee, a lot of people are like, you signed to Ambitiouz Entertainment, and now you're not working with your older producers, you're not working with the same teams. Like, no. My videos are still shot by all the guys that shot the videos before I signed to Ambitiouz.
If we're not willing to listen to each other and it's your way or no way, there's no way anyone's gonna grow. And I just feel like the relationship needs to be mutual.
I feel like society feels like females should sound a certain way or look a certain way. So I've always realized that I'm the odd one out. So I feel like my sessions are strictly for me and the people who I'm working with.
When I won my first award, which was the South African Hip Hop Award, I was very happy about that. I have the award in my hand, I'm going to the car, the ceremony just finished, everybody congratulating me on my way out. And then the boss man comes up behind me on some, give me what's mine. And I'm like, I stood there and thought, what is his? I looked at the award and I saw it's written Emtee on there. I looked at him and he repeated the statement. And then I didn't ask the third time. It just made sense to me. I'm like, okay, there we go again. All right, take your thing, homie. I'm out. I just left. I didn't even debate or try to reason or, can I take it home? One thing I can tell people, I've never taken one award home to my parents, ever. I've never stayed with an award for over 24 hours after receiving it, which was something weird because they all written my name on it. I mean, to this day, there's still only God knows where.
Bottles of that baby dick, it's all on me. Party people over here, that's all on me. Speedy life be on a Tuesday. See the shop at Kgosi. Yeah.
The music at the end of the day is like why we got together as like partners in this relationship, you know. So it was the music also and the push also and what we should do, what we shouldn't do, and if you don't believe in something, sometimes you just gotta sit back and be on some. I'll do things my way, or I'll just, you know.
I think to answer that question, like straight up, the music first. That's what you do.
Yeah.
Because that's you.
Yeah.
That's the archives forever. The song is out. It's out.
And now the problem is that now, the music that you release, it's history, you know? It's gonna stay there forever. So now you are that person that released that type of demo back in the day and you didn't want to release that.
Because even now, you have people that still call us by the title of a song that you did that was not probably even what you wanted to do.
Yeah.
So that's what we're trying to say. Like, it started when the music switched up. Like, that's not us anymore. Now we're selling another brand that we don't know.
Some things in terms of the rollouts didn't make sense. You know, there were some artists who were benching out for like 2 years, hadn't released a song. And there was another artist who just became an artist and they were shooting out songs like every 6 months. And for me, that was like in any kind of rollout for a musician, that doesn't make sense, especially if you're not trying to create a project, you know? So I had a lot of very practical reasons. And because of that, I became the red-headed stepchild at the label. And I think from what I hear, I was told that a lot of the artists internally were told to disassociate from me because I was a problem.
I think that's the main reason why I decided to start asking questions, because I believe I know what I got myself into. So if we had agreed on this percentage when it comes to shows, and you know, I don't ask you what's going on, because even the payment plan was very weird for me. For me, it felt like an allowance. So I wanted to ask, how are we doing this? How are we, if we are both happy, or is this really how it's supposed to be done?
When they started speaking to me, it was before the fallout with Fifi Krupa and everybody else. And while we're in talks and I was just about to join, you know, on the verge of signing, the situation with Fifi Krupa and A. Reese and Benchmark happened. When we were signing, I told him, I'm like, this, because of what's happening here with A. Reese, and he's like, yo, I need my invoices. Every month I need to know how much we're getting paid, when there's a deal, before we sign a deal, I need to know about it before you sign. You know, I can't find out that you guys sign contracts on my behalf and then like, you know, you're giving me 10K for it and there was 70K paid for it or whatever, you know? I wanted full and open, like, transparency. And that's what he promised me, like, yo, I promise. And he's like, and yo, you need to understand, I look bad now, pretty. You know, we're looking bad because like, the people that see what's happening is like, we want to do right with you.
The contract that I had signed was purely based on work. So if I get a booking, I get my money from that booking, you get your percentage. Their percentage was like super high. Don't even think that was legal, but I had signed for that, and that was a 50-50. So if I make 10 Rand, they're going to take 5 Rand, and my understanding from the 5 Rand was that the 5 Rand was for PR, marketing, road management, all the other stuff, and the other 50% was mine. I was offered a salary in the beginning, but I'm not that kind of girl.